So the question that I have for AGA today is from Billy, and Billy is actually from Nepal, and his question is all about food. So a topic that everybody is definitely going to be interested about. Okay, but before I head into the topic, Namo Adesh, my name is Garret. My mission as a life coach is to help people realize their infinite potential by tapping into spirituality, the law of attraction, and Fengshui. I'm very blessed to be trained under a Himalayan yogi who's taught me the ways of the yogic teachings as well as spirituality, which is the whole umbrella of life. Okay, before I start off the topic, please make sure you guys remember to hit like, subscribe, and comment your learnings in the comment section below. And it's also nice to know where you guys are tuning in from, so please share it in the comments too. So I'm dedicated to make 4 videos a week to actually spread more light and positivity to the world. Okay, so without further ado, let's head into the question. So the question goes like this. Okay, hi Garret, sorry. How are you? I have a simple question for you, please. What type of food to avoid for a healthy life? So Billy from Nepal. So whenever we talk about the unhealthy food, I think in general most people would know taking the high caloric food like fried food, oily food, and sugary stuff should generally be avoided, just to keep your system a little bit more clean and a little bit more healthier. Okay, and however, when we just talk about health as well in terms of the food that you should or should not eat, right? Because I'm a modern day yogi, so in the yogic teachings, there's a lot of food that you should actually learn to know what are superfoods and what are the non-superfoods. Okay, so we label them in pranic foods. Okay, so there's 3 categories. So there's negative pranic food, there's zero pranic food, so they're basically the neutral food, and as well there's the positive pranic food. Okay, so 3 categories. So basically I should just cover, because avoiding, right? So I'll just cover the negative pranic food. Okay, so why should you avoid negative pranic food? So we just need to know that negative pranic food, right, is basically when you consume them, it's gonna do you harm. So just take it into a perspective of a good building that's designed such a beautiful outlook of it. Okay, and if an architect so renowned, so reputable built the building up so nicely, the type of building material that has to be used by the builder or the contractor has to make sure that it's going to be premium grade. If not, then the building will also crumble, right? Same if you were to view the body as the building, and if you would view the food that you put into the body as the building material, then it is what you could relate to. Okay, so if you were to feed your body with a bad food, you consume all those food that is not good for your body, then definitely going to do you a lot of harm. Okay, so we talk about the negative pranic food. Okay, so point number 1, garlic. Okay, so a lot of people would say, oh, I love garlic, I can't have garlic, I can't have food without garlic. Of course, if you will talk about it, right, garlic, a lot of why garlic should be avoided, because garlic, right, is a form of medication, and is actually used in Ayurveda and as well as Siddha form of medication in traditional India. Okay, and if it's a medication, if you consume medications on a daily basis, your system basically can't handle it because it's too strong. And when I talk about garlic, right, why is it considered strong? Each time you cook the garlic or you eat food with garlic in it, right, the intensity of the taste, the smell, and the aroma, everything is so intensified. So I will liken it as if you were to eat something for your taste bud, right? Every time you eat it, some strong sensations of the food that you eat it, right? The next moment, if you were to eat something that's a little bit more bland, you will feel like you can't taste the bland food so much more, because your sensitivity of the taste has been brought up by the experience of the heavy intensity food. So that's the reason why you should actually avoid high intensity food like garlic. Okay, because garlic is very, very intensified, and once it intensifies, right, it actually attacks your nervous system kind of food. So if you were to use it, it dulls your system down. And what do I mean by dulls your system? It actually lowers your sensitivity of your life. And when it dulls your system in terms of the sensitivity around you, you feel lesser, you experience less of life. So what do I mean by that? So take for instance, if you were to go to high energy places like forest, nature, you go in there, you feel like it's just wood. You don't enjoy the experience of nature around you, because you don't feel the reverberations of the energy, you don't feel the environment, you just feel, oh, it's beautiful, okay, I'll take a picture and I'll go. So this is the sensitivity of human experience, like our senses of touch, senses of seeing, hearing, smell. All this experience is actually the fullest pleasures of life. Okay, you need to live your senses to the fullest in order to enjoy life, you see. So that's the first food that we should avoid if you want to make sure that you live a healthy life as well as to enjoy the pleasures of life. So avoid taking garlic, okay, because it's considered a form of medication, and even though it has its own health benefits and all, it's good for the joints and so on, but the thing is, you don't need to take all this, you see. There's other supplements that you could do about, or you could even practice yoga that it could actually help you with your joints, even you don't have to consume any form of medications and so on, or supplements, you see. So there's a lot of ways to go about, you see. And yeah, so I think that's for garlic, okay. So the second thing is onion. So same thing, like garlic is also a strong intensity food. So if you were to watch a lot of TVs in the past, like Chinese movies or Chinese TVs, right, that has vampires or Draculas, right, they usually use garlic or onion to scare off these Draculas or these vampires, because it is a high spiritual food in terms of high intensity as well as the smell, okay, the scent of it. So the acids that's been found in the onions, right, is strong, very very strong for the body as well. It attacks the nerves as well, the nervous system. So it triggers your nervous system, so that it makes you dull again, same like the garlic, okay. So spiritual body, once you can scare off Draculas and vampires, which are spiritual beings, okay. Every one of us are actually spiritual beings, okay. We are spiritual body experiencing the physical world, okay. Know this, huh? So that's the reason why when you want to increase the sensitivity of life, you need to make sure that your spiritual body is not being attacked by all this form of food, okay. So garlic and onion, okay. Then the third food should be something that I just found out as well. A negative pranic food is also the eggplant, or basically the brinjal, okay. So this is something that I kind of like it also, and I tend to eat it too much, but there's a kind of chemical within eggplants, right, that once it's being cooked, right, it produces a form of toxin, and this toxin, I think, is something called solanine. You could probably go and Google it, and you might see certain results out of it. And having this solanine in your system, right, is gonna affect your sensitivity as well, and it's gonna affect you in terms of your intelligence. So families with young children or even babies, right, should not consume all this food. I'm very sure if you take eggplants, right, for the next 5 years, right, you're gonna see a lot of significant decrease in your mental state, okay. So it's in terms of thought process, and that's the reason why I mean in the younger days, my grandma feed me a lot of eggplants in my younger days. That's why I see I'm not so smart. Now it all links back, you see, I'm not intelligent, okay. So the chemicals actually attack you slowly, even though it tastes good, but it attacks you slowly in your system. So avoid eggplants, okay. So the next thing is coffee and tea, okay. So a lot of people will be like shocked, why coffee and tea? Okay, know this, in the yogic teachings, in the yogic cultures, right, whatever that we eat or we consume in our bodies, right, need to be conscious. We need to be conscious of the food that we put in. Basically, consciousness also means responsibility on your health, okay. So it's okay that you take a glass or two of coffee and tea, and it does have their health benefits if you take it like one or two glass once in a while, okay. But if you're consuming it on a daily basis, it becomes a form of compulsion, okay. Certain people, I'm pretty sure if you go into the cities and you go to a nearby cafe in the morning, you'll see a long queue, everyone queuing up for coffee or queuing up for tea. Why? And certain people even say these statements. I'm pretty sure you might even be the one saying it. I can't have a day without my coffee. A day without my coffee, I'll be exhausted, I'll be tired, my day would be ruined, okay. So if that actually happens, right, it means that glass of coffee has actually taken over your life, you see. So without it, you are ruined. So what does it mean? It means that you are highly dependent on that food or that source of consumption, okay. So anything that takes over your life, takes over your freedom basically. Okay, so it shouldn't be consumed, because once it consumes you and it makes you compulsion, it dictates the mind and the process of it, then it's not going to be good. So should not consume coffee and tea too much, because it is I would say a mind stimulant. Okay, so anything that's a mind stimulant should not be taken. Okay, so next thing would definitely be alcohol. So I quit my alcohol like only last year, so it's something that I see dramatically increase in my health as well as my cognitive abilities. So alcohol is also something that is a stimulant. So anything that can make you cronky, make you drowsy, or this kind of giddiness, or this kind of stuff, or there's a state of emotional state, or triggers your mental state or your well-being of the body, right, is a stimulant. Okay, so should not be taken. So I'm pretty sure even alcohol, everyone knows that alcohol, if you consume it on a daily basis, it's gonna be bad also. So that's why there's a lot of addicts also, right? It makes you compulse. There's a compulsion that can be caused from taking alcohol. Okay, then we talk about something that I've also just discovered, is the green chilies and green peppers. So it's also not good, so should not consume them as well. And yeah, a lot of things like you should avoid is also that I think is not a must that you should avoid. And even though everybody knows that I'm a vegetarian and I'm slowly working towards a vegan kind of a lifestyle, but the reason behind it is not because we are holy people that we should avoid meat and seafood and all this kind of stuff. But the reason behind it is because when animal products, right, animals are being killed for food, okay, no matter how you treat the animal before you kill it, right, like maybe you put medications to let them go to sleep, then you kill them in the least painful way, okay, then their energy or the muscles that they hold, the state of fear that they will be in when they are about to be killed, will always be found in the muscle tissues that in their bodies. So the moment once it become processed as meat parts, right, when you bring the food back, you bring the meat part home and you cook it as your food, no matter how you treat your food, right, that energy is gonna be consumed into you. Okay, and once you consume that food into your system, that vibrations goes into your body and reverberates within you, so it becomes part of you. So if it's in a state of fear, you're gonna be in a state of fear as well. Fear lives in you. Okay, so that's the reason why a lot of yogic teachings, they become vegetarian and they become vegan, basically because of that. They understand this vibration within them. Okay, spiritual people as well. Yeah, so yeah, in short, I think these are some of the foods that I think you should avoid, on top of all those that you already know that you should avoid. So even Coke, like all this, have caffeine in it. So know this, anything that is a stimulant, right, people put it in food. Like there are in the fast food, especially the garlic, onions, and even in your chips. So a lot of if you go and get snacks, right, you get chips. Okay, all those chips, you find garlic onion powder in it, right? All this, why put garlic onion powder inside all these chips? So things like fries, why should they put potato chips, all this? Why should they put garlic and onion? You should ask yourself this question. So some people know this, and usually those people, highly successful people, run big large organizations. Why do they put all this into your food? Because it makes you less sensitive. It downs you down in your pleasures of life. So in some way they are controlling you. So same thing, whatever that you consume should not be dictating your life. Okay, so one more bonus that I should add on that should scare most people off would be fluoride. So fluoride can be found in your toothpaste. So it's been marketed in the commercial industries to say that fluoride is good for protection of your teeth and your bones and so on and so forth, right? However, know this, you don't need all this to protect your teeth. Okay, so protection of teeth, actually your body is in a capable state to produce its own mechanisms to function for your bones and your teeth and your structures. Okay, so if you study into yoga, you can do yoga. So yoga actually strengthens your whole body, mind, body, spirit. Okay, so there's its own reasons behind the science in the yogic sciences. Okay, so Why fluoride? Because fluoride, right, actually calcifies your pineal gland. Pineal gland is something within your brain. It's a small little gland that is found within the center of your brain, and it is direct connection to your third eye. So once it's calcified, right, it means it dulls your sensitivity towards your intuition. So that's why a lot of people become a little bit more dull in life. You can't experience your life to the fullest. Okay, so know this: when you're trying to live your life fully, liken yourself to an animal sense, okay, like a dog. Okay, so why can dogs actually smell from afar? Why can they feel from afar as well? Because they are able to they are a little bit more they are very sensitive. In fact, they are much more sensitive than humans because of this their nature of how they are being built. So if you want to be very sensitive as well, you're capable too. That's why a lot of people do, a lot of yogis, right, or like myself, sometimes I do fasting. I do water fasting for a day or 2 days or 3 days sometimes. So it's gonna help cleanse your body, cleanse your system, makes you a lot more sensitive to the nature and the energies around you. Okay, so with that, I think I've probably covered certain foods that you should avoid. Okay, so make sure if you learn something from this video, make sure you guys to comment your learnings in the comment section. Okay, with that, I end off my video. Namo Dash.